Camila Cabello is becoming one of the biggest stars of our time now that she has transitioned out of girl group Fifth Harmony into an incredibly successful solo music career. Now that she is also an actor and starred in the recent Cinderella remake, it seems like the girl is on fire. But she has a dark past, and many celebrities have tried to warn us about who she really is. I'm Mackenzie, and let's get into the details. But first, make sure to subscribe if you're new here. First up, we got Normani. Following her split from girl group Fifth Harmony, it's safe to say that none of the other four members like Camila very much, but Normani has been the most outspoken against her. This is because, among other things, an old text message conversation between Camila and a friend was leaked, where Camila laughed at the friend referring to Normani as the N-word. To make things worse, an old Tumblr account of Camila's was also exposed, showing Camila using racist language like the N-word on multiple occasions, along with making disturbing jokes, like one post joking about Rihanna and Chris Brown's domestic abuse case. After all of this came out, Normani was understandably heartbroken that her former friend and bandmate had such a horrible past. Normani decided to share her thoughts on everything in her cover story with Rolling Stone. In one interview, Normani said in part, quote, "It was devastating that this came from a place that was supposed to be a safe haven and a sisterhood, because I knew that if the tables were turned, I would defend each one of them in a single heartbeat." Normani also said that Camila never supported her when she was being attacked by racist online trolls, and Normani never felt fully supported by Camila. Normani added in the interview, quote, "It took days for her to acknowledge what I was dealing with online, and then years for her to take responsibility for the offensive tweets that recently resurfaced." So clearly Normani did not fully accept the apology that Camila posted, but she said she will not comment any further on the matter. Next up, Fifth Harmony. So much shade has been thrown between Camila and Fifth Harmony, I could probably make a whole video on it. But after Camila split from the group, the girls did not hold back their feelings. Most famously was the incredibly shady moment from the 2017 MTV VMAs, where Fifth Harmony basically kicked a symbolic Cabello off stage before starting their performance. At the start of their performance, 5 people were standing on an elevated platform, but right before they started singing, one of the 5 was yanked off stage and only 4 were left, clearly referencing Camila. As the crowd lost it, the girls continued on. This just proves that there was not an amicable split between the group. Camila responded to the stunt saying, quote, "It definitely hurt my feelings. I wasn't expecting it. I wasn't prepared for it, especially because at that point I'd moved on from it. I was like, what? Why? I don't like holding on to the past. Especially when it's stuff like that, in my opinion, it's just petty." It's rumored that a lot of this tension between the girls is because of how Camila allegedly left the group. The announcement that Camila was leaving came from a post on the group's Instagram. And a particularly shady part of the statement claimed that Camila told the group that she was leaving through her representatives, which made it seem like Camila did not even have the decency to tell the girls she was leaving herself. Camila clapped back in her own statement where she said that she had been having conversations with the group for many months now, and they were not blindsided about the choice. However, Camila claimed that she was completely blindsided by Fifth Harmony's announcement. After this, it was a he said, she said, but many believe the group is telling the truth. Next up, we have Austin Mahone. Before Shawn and Camila were the hottest couple in Hollywood, Camila dated Austin Mahone back in 2014. At that time, the split seemed amicable and all was good, until Hollywood Life reported that they knew the real reason for the split. Apparently, while the couple was together, Austin wanted to keep things private and not put it on social media, but Camila was the opposite and wanted everyone to know that they were dating. The source went on to claim that, quote, "When she revealed that they were dating, he accused her of using it to sell albums, and she was hurt by that and they both decided to break up." But apparently that was not true, and Austin was so annoyed over the claim that he actually called out the news outlet, saying that was not the real reason they broke up. He tweeted, quote, "That's the most ridiculous reason I've ever heard. Nothing like that even happened at all. I don't know what source you guys are talking to." But since Camila moved on to a much bigger singer with tons of PDA, maybe the source was onto something. Next up, Leigh-Anne Pinnock. Lil Mix fans are convinced that Leigh-Anne called out Camila Cabello on an Instagram live. The shade was in reference to Cabello's controversial post from her now deactivated Tumblr that resurfaced in December of 2019. While speaking on an Instagram live, Leigh-Anne said, quote, "Even recently something came up about someone and stuff that she said, and she didn't get any backlash from it. She still got to perform at the Grammys. I don't even want to say who it is. Everyone thinks this was in reference to Camila because at that time she had recently apologized for the post that had resurfaced." Camila said she was, quote, "deeply ashamed of her comments," and added that she was uneducated and ignorant, about how her hurtful language might have affected others. On this Tumblr page, racial slurs like the N-word were said often. This was not the first time Leigh-Anne has spoken out about racial injustices. Before this, she shared her experiences with racism and said she felt like the least favorited member of Lil Mix because of her race. Next up, James Arthur. UK X Factor winner James Arthur seemed to throw some shade Shawn and Camila's way when he tweeted about them possibly having a fake relationship. The tweet read, quote, "All these PR moves in pop music today are getting too cringy, man. I'm done, I've seen it all." And this tweet came right at the same time everyone's been accusing the pair of being in a fake relationship for press. Camila and Shawn's fans immediately took to the comments, thinking that the shade was directed at them. But he put that to rest when James responded back to one tweet and confirmed that he was not shading Shawn and Camila, and the people he was shading were UK based. Although many believe he was just trying to cover his tracks at that point. Next up, Jenna Dewan. Eagle-eyed viewers of the AMAs think that Jenna Dewan shaded Camila Cabello while her and Shawn were performing. During the performance, the camera panned to the crowd as it always does, and it caught this potentially shady moment between Jenna Dewan and her stylist friend, Brad Gorski. In this brief moment, Dewan says something to Gorski that we can't completely make out, but it looks like she said, quote, "She's always extra," then rolled her eyes. After the clip went viral, Jenna took to Instagram stories and claimed that she never said that, but rather said something along the lines of, "She's so good." Gorski, who was also in the car with her, added, quote, "Guys, we were bumping and grinding so hard to Senorita, we're obsessed." So I guess y'all can decide for yourselves what she said. And finally, Camila herself. Nobody has exposed Camila Cabello better than herself. She's been exposed for countless racist actions. One I brought up earlier was when Camila said the N-word in a conversation with her friend, and then laughed when this friend referenced Normani as the N-word. Then there are a slew of racist posts that were discovered on Camila's old Tumblr page. The posts were mostly shared in 2012 when Cabello was 14 and 15 years old, which was the year the Fifth Harmony formed. One gift she shared mocked and stereotyped a black child and a black female athlete. These posts also made references to offensive stereotypes about black people, such as KFC and watermelons. Many posts even featured the N-word, and some posts made fun of black, Asian, and Mexican people. Another post accused Taylor Swift of slut-shaming and Rihanna of wearing a little to no clothing. It also made fun of Bruno Mars, Nicki Minaj, and other rappers, so clearly a lot of stuff. Most of the content on the page was not created by Camila, but she reblogged it onto her public page for her fans to see. She also used the N-word when she publicly answered a question on her Tumblr page. After this was all exposed, she apologized on Twitter. She said in part, quote, "When I was younger, I used language that I'm deeply ashamed of and will regret forever. I was uneducated and ignorant, and once I became aware of the history and the weight and the true meaning behind this horrible and hurtful language, I was deeply embarrassed I ever used it." However, many did not accept the apology and didn't believe that she didn't know what the words meant. So that's all for the list, guys. Let me know your thoughts below. But before I go, I'm gonna shout out some comments from part 5 of actors that ruined their careers in seconds. Zaim said, "Saying Freddie Got Fingered was a disappointment is a huge understatement. Even though I've never seen it, I'm sure a lot of people would agree." Yeah, I've never seen it, but I watched the trailer and I think that said it all. It was pretty ridiculous looking. Then Gigi said, "Arrogance, lack of respect for others, that is why these people went down, well deserved." I mean, yeah, I kinda hit the nail on the head there. Alrighty guys, that's all for the video today. Thanks so much for sticking around if you made it all the way here. If you liked the video and you want to see more, make sure to like and sub to the channel below. I've been your host, Mackenzie Smith. Make sure to check us out on social media, and I'll catch you all in the next one.